This video from NYPD shows a pair of suspects using a moped to tug at, knock over, and drag a victim to wrestle free a bag and iPhone. Police officers, accompanied by Mayor Eric Adams, made multiple arrests in an apartment at 2970 Bronx Park East, described as a stash house for the cell phone robbery operation, connected to more than a dozen suspects, many of them migrants, according to police.
The small number of people are breaking the law and having a huge impact on our public safety, and that is why we zeroed in on them.
Once you start robbing people and stealing from them, your status is criminal, and you'll be treated as such.
Suspects were arrested in the overnight Monday raid, and others arrested Saturday, a total of 7. 3 more identified by police are on the loose, including the one identified as the alleged mastermind. Police say the alleged ringleader sent messages on WhatsApp looking for phones.
The crime wave begins with the scooter operators making $100 a day and the actual phone snatcher making between $300 to $600 per phone that is stolen.
Investigators say the suspects grabbing phones because they're attracted to payment apps, including Apple Pay. Police say the phones were then taken to the ringleader's apartment. Police say a tech person would hack into the stolen phones, access the victim's financial and banking apps to make fraudulent purchases. More arrests are expected.
We're going to find you, we're going to arrest you, we're going to bring you to justice.
Some Bronx residents said this worries them, especially for their most vulnerable loved ones and neighbors.
I'm very scared. And my mother, she's right there.
The immigrants illegally coming to this country is going to lead into the mark of the beast for the American citizens. And I'll explain to you why. Just remember who built the wall. And I've always said this from the beginning. That wall was never to keep them out. It was to keep us in. In order to fix a crisis, you have to create a crisis. Trump said on his first day back, he's going to have the largest deportation in the history of America. Now that the illegal immigrants are all throughout the country, how are you going to be able to monitor and make sure that they're out? This is where they are going to implement a system that is going to watch Americans and watch the illegals. First, it will start off by marking all the illegals, but the sole purpose was always designed to mark the Americans. They would never be able to convince or force us to do that. But again, if you create a crisis and you use it against the illegals and the system is up and running, eventually it will be pushed on the American citizens. And it could start off being used with people with DUIs, sex offenders, etc. And from there, it will continue to grow in this country, and they will use it where they see fit. And eventually, it will be used throughout the United States. And that is exactly how they will force the mark on the American citizens and get away with it without question. How can a man lose an election that was rigged and come back and win an election? He lost his re-election. They had to sucker you in. He had to set up all his stuff prior, his to plant the seed in your head, and then they put an imbecile in the office that would make anybody look good. The whole United States is for Trump. He will win because it's rigged. And when he comes in, the change is not only in America, it's going to be throughout the world. Is going to bring about the New World Order, the Great Reset, the beast system. You mark my words, this technology, when he becomes president, will be used on the illegals. And then it will be used on the American citizens. They are using our freedom against us. Our freedom is our downfall. There's too much. And we will be punished because of what they allowed to happen at the borders. Do not take the mark. Accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior.